Okay, Coach, historic Lambeau Field. Fittingly, it butts up against Lombardi Avenue here in the heart of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cleveland Browns and the Green Bay Packers. The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
Let's go.
We go! 15 line. 15 line. Two draw quarter. Slap. Down.
The first carry for the former Nittany Lion. This is Saquon Barkley. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now Saquon Barkley. And able to stay on his feet. Past the 30 to about the 33-yard line.
There we go, dude. That's what
It's a gain of 4. Makes it 3rd and 2.
An early test. 2 plays in. This is 3rd and 2. They'll look to throw. Looking left side. He's got it. Complete. 14 yards. Good for a Packer first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance. Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
It's a gain of 6. Brings up 3rd and 7.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Completes it to the tight end, Smythe. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. They'll drop to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. And he whips that one incomplete there. He released that awkwardly. It almost looked like a pitcher who gripped his fastball a little too hard and let it go late, and it bounced in front of the plate.
Yeah, one of those fastballs that ends up at 57 feet, not 60 feet, 6 inches. Just a little short with the arm, which is unusual because we saw him in warm-ups. He's got a big, strong arm when he delivers it with confidence.
Get wide. Yo, cheetah. Ready.
And he stopped immediately there. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
Well, it certainly appears that in this game, someone has decided they're going to open up their playbook. First quarter, and we see that play. I like their style.
This now, play number 9 on the opening drive, but it's 3rd and long.
I got it. Tighten up. Let's go.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
And this won't get there. Won't be online either. It's no good. Off to the right, and this will remain a scoreless game.
Partner, doesn't seem like it, but that's a tough spot for a kicker. First drive of the game, and they're calling on him. He should be warmed up. He should be into the game, but sometimes it's almost like, oh, what, now already? Can't they put it in the end zone? What's going on here?
Yeah, he's probably saying, if you can't get it in the end zone, can you give me a 30, 40-yard? A long one, and he can't connect. They'll run on first down. Metcalf. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Brings up 2nd and 7 at their 49-yard line.
Ready. Fair. Let's go. 80 weapons. Let's get there. Alpha. Mike 55. Now.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted.
Well, this wind is definitely going to be a factor as this game goes along. He's throwing straight into it here in the first quarter, and the ball fluttered on him a little bit. They'll definitely have to file that one away and make a mental note of it.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Check 37. X3. 218. Chop. Defense.
They'll start out on the ground, and Saquon Barkley. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Now a give, right side. Green. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Joe Hayden from his cornerback position on the sack that time. A few issues here on the offensive line. Apparently, he got sacked 5 times last week. They got to him here in the first quarter.
And I would think that running the ball would be paramount here because it's a different team they're facing, but they watch the film as well. So they'll take many of those same principles and try and apply them in this game to see if they fixed what was wrong with them in the last game.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. The Browns drive about to get started. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. Then he will take it across midfield and down to the 45. First quarter, and now he already has 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's got to guard against being tentative from this point forward, though. He's got to still make the right reads, make the proper throws. I've seen guys in this league throw 4 interceptions in a game and win. He's got to understand, put it behind you, keep pressing forward.
A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3. No score after 1 on EA Sports.
Set, 18 Gator. Hey, Sam off. Ready?
On second down, here's Barkley. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They'll run with Barkley. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on third.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
They missed a field goal earlier, so possibly as a result, that's why they're going to try to go for it here on 4th down.
Topper! Mike 20. Get it!
And he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. And the gadget play here on 4th down winds up backfiring. And this Browns defense stands tall. The Browns drive about to get started. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Keep it up, defense. Keep it up. Hey, Haywood. 55. Check 55. Mike.
2nd and 10. He'll find Metcalf. That second down play nets a -4.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. He's picked off just shy of midfield. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. A first down carry for Barkley. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
Officially, it's no gain on the play, and they'll remain a few inches shy of a first with 3rd down looming. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And he's got his man on the out route. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they touchdown, Packers. As his guys are in for 6. As his guys are on the board first here tonight. Now for the point after. Oh, how about about this? No good. Just his second miss of the year, and our score will stay right where it is. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Jair Alexander up to make the tackle.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. He'll drop to throw. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off at the 30. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. Only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Number 53, Mike 53. Check Mike, Tyler, 64, we get it.
After the penalty, they go with Barkley. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Down. 15 line it. 15 line. Get the ball. Down.
And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend.
Check 50, check 50. Hustle, hustle.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Gets this out to Saquon Barkley. So they decline it as that will bring up 4th.
And I know that yardage and field position are keys to any game played, but you've got to consider downs when you're talking about penalties, and they wisely did not take that one and made it 4th down.
Fielded just inside the 20. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. On 1st down, Metcalf. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. A big play there with touchdown number 7 on the year as his guys can now take the lead with the extra point. The extra point up and good. And they take the lead here at 7-6. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Saquon Barkley running right. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Let's go now. 8 read. Check 53. Push him back. Hey, Charlie. Yo, go.
Looking to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. Normally, I'd say this will lead to a punt attempt, but this offense already shown in the first half that they'll go for it on 4th down.
Oh, they should have already said, punt it, punt it. Head coach should have already made that decision.
Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10.
60 or 55. 80 weapons. You're out. Double up. Bravo.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. So he can't hang on. And as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know. But you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Right, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. They're going to look to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
18 greater. Hey, high 7. Check right. Watch it, 5. He can't hang. Ready.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 33. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
70, Indy. Two-jet bomber. Two-jet bomber. Watch the safety creep. Watch it. Kill. Leo. Hey, exit. Hey, get it.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He rifles one that's intercepted. He's picked off near his own 48.
You're trailing. You're trying to get points late in half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with.
Check. Lucky. Left there.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
The Browns are going to get the second half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. They'll keep it on the ground. Metcalf. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Shotgun handoff to Brown here. And he winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
24 is the mic. Hey, Orbit. 24 is the mic. I got you, pump. 24 is the mic. I'll get him. Get it.
They'll set up to throw. Letting one go deep for the end zone. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And this one is no good. He missed it. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, close game, second half. You obviously hate to leave 3 out on the field.
Especially in a game like this when you know points are hard to come by. That was one of their best opportunities so far, and they come away with nothing.
Now it's Barkley. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
61, matchbox lights.
Check 53's Mike. I got you, boy. I got you, boy. Shoot, shoot, shoot.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Didn't they tell us in our meetings that they needed to account for him on each and every play?
You think? A guy of his caliber? So how does a guy like him get that wide open?
That usually means there's a tire breakdown on what the coverage was. Everyone thought they were doing something, and they were supposed to be doing something else. But bottom line is, no matter what, you have to know where he is and cover him on every play.
Give him 10 there. Good enough for a Packer first down. So a solid run by Saquon Barkley and another 1st and 10 here. Room here to run. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. He got 29 yards that time.
This is one of those plays that could go either way, but we've seen the influence of the college game now in the NFL, where we're seeing more and more of these plays run, and that one went for a big gain.
Look, squeeze.
Watch twist. Watch twist.
And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. He's got his man sharp, complete. 4th down now after a loss of 2. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, you see a lot of guys sag and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. Stepped right up like a pro.
The Browns drive about to get started. And I hate to point to that missed field goal from their last drive, but you look at the scoreboard, they would be in the lead if they had that 3.
Well, no doubt those points or those missed points do loom large, but here they're getting a chance for a makeup, aren't they? Almost like my time in school, I was always begging my teachers for a makeup exam. Here's their opportunity now to put those points on the board.
And every point becoming more vital here in the second half.
Kill, kill, kill.
80 weapons. Hey, Delta.
One quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
Let's go now. 18 Gator.
Watch your slack. Watch your slack.
Ready?
They'll keep it on the ground. Metcalf. And some room to maneuver. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. And he will take this all the way down to the Packers' 23-yard line. You know, I have a pretty good friend, Charles Davis, who tells me that when he sees plays like that, strong runs to the right, reminds him of the 1960s Green Bay Packers.
Boy, those were the days back when the fullback actually carried the ball as well as blocked. Then you had a halfback. You had pulling guards, guys who could get out and run. And you can hear the great coach saying it back then. So we get a seal here and a seal here, and we run this play right in the alley.
A good pickup there, 21 yards.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up second and goal. Second and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. They'll keep it on the ground. Metcalf, and he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on third, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that second down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
They'll try and run it in with Brown. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. They lost 2, and it brings up 4th. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This for a 4th quarter lead. And his kick is good. And they take the lead here by a point, 10-9. So he missed his first attempt, remember, but this time he gets back on the bike and knocks it home.
Yeah, and sometimes that first one can really impact you moving forward. It can just stay with you too long and affect everything else you do during the game. In this case, though, able to shake it off. He's riding high again.
About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Good running from Barkley there on 1st down as he'll get forward for about 6 yards. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4. Again, it's Barkley. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Hatchet. General West. On the ball.
This is Barkley. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 13 yards, 1st down, Packers.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch victory.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 47.
49, check 49, check 49. Mike, 53, Mike. Don't let him breathe. Let's go.
On the run, it's Barkley. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
You ain't got nothing. Say. You draw corkers. Check 53. Here we go. Hey!
They'll try the right side here. Barkley. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Whistles now in a timeout defensively. So a wise move as they'll use the first of their timeouts to force one more play before the 2-minute warning.
Here we go, G. Get off the field. Watch the air.
On second down now. It's Green. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Barkley, and he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown. Saquon Barkley hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And once again, the Packers, they're back out in front. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And he atones for his miss the first time around as this one is up and good to extend their lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. The Browns drive about to get started. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
It's second and 8 at the 27-yard line.
They'll break the huddle, come up on second and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Check. Hey, box truck. Get it.
They'll look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
61, Max box, right.
Brings up 3rd and inches.
Snap.
Back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off at the 12. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards.
Switch.
Now a give right side. Barkley. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college. And how about in the NFL? The miracle at the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. On now is the Packers punter. And you wonder, could they possibly think about taking a safety here? That's pulled in at the 32. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.